folks, it says I'm live, so I'll just get cracking. I'm at a sort of bit of a crossroads in a project like this. The tooling side of things is a bit where things start to get a bit tedious, and yeah, it's easy to sort of get a bit disheartened at this stage and give up. But I'll try and push through it. But maybe at least some things to be happy about. The energy bars, to some extent, I got those working. Let me just load up foot.l, F1, foot.l, F5. I've turned on the fast clock 200 megahertz, or did I? Maybe I didn't. Let me just check. Yeah, fast clock 200, I did. Okay, should be about, yeah, I did. Alright, so still no hitbox sort of detection as yet. But I put some shortcut keys. I think it was like the less than, like shift and comma to bring down the player's energy, and shift and dot or greater than to bring down the enemy's energy. So the hope is once I get the hitbox stuff happening, we can sort of start decreasing these energy bars until they get to 0. So that's one aspect of it that I'm happy is out of the way. Def's new heads. Deft offered some new heads. Where are they? They're in Discord. And I will try and give those a go. But further up here, they do look quite nice. He wasn't a big fan of my baldy head guy, so he designed a few other variants. And I thought maybe it might be nice to capture all these variants in the game, because, you know, like in Karateka, they had a few varieties of heads. Yeah, and added a bit of character. So I can try that. I made a little mock-up of what it looked like. Yeah, it does look cute if we had some variety in the heads. So yeah, but yeah, that's a factor in also wanting this spring cleaning, if you like, house cleaning to be done, because upper head is, you know, the detection of, you know, the hits, you know, a punch hitting a face or a kick hitting a body, that sort of stuff, and it's going to be relating to these sort of bounding box collision tests. So I'm experimenting with that. I'll just load one of these little test programs. Alright, F1 box test.el. Yeah, this was just a little collision tester with the arrow key. So if I were to run this, I could just move these, well, the first box with the arrow keys, and upon collision I just change the background to red. So that's just an assessment of, you know, the logic needed to make such a test. Like it was just a small program, you know, just checking for the collision. I guess that's get the user input, draw the boxes. So maybe the check of the box collision to comprehend the sort of math that I'll need to get that resolved. And yeah, there's a bit of maths, you know, the box X and Y positions are getting compared to decide whether a collision occurred or not. Yeah, and that logic seems to be in place. And I'm ready to copy paste this into the game when it's time for that. So that's what that's tool. The grabber tool to get ready for these multiple heads and, you know, multiple players. Before we had this layers bin file which had everything, you know, the layers of the background plus the player plus the duck. But I thought maybe it's time to split these up into separate files, just so, you know, I mean, maybe this could be one of my player, Def's player, or baddie enemies, and then the duck. And also, I just worry, like, maybe we might want to add new frames, a new sort of attack move or something like that. And it's kind of awkward when they're all sort of side by side with each other. So breaking them up felt necessary. So inside the grabber tool, I added, so press F1 and load grabber.el. I think I can run that fairly quickly too. I just added a D option. I pressed letter D in there to delete the current. Oh, that's not good. Let's ignore it. I don't know why that happened. Oh, maybe there was something already in memory. So if I press F1, I can load the current layers.bin, and that should all still be there, which includes all the, you know, all the player and the duck and everything, which I didn't want. So I added the delete so I could slowly start deleting these things. So I press D, 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 and you see I'm deleting the duck out of it and delete the player out of it. I'll just press D a lot more. D, 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 D. And that's where the sun starts. And at that point I pressed F3 to save and I typed, I won't do this now because I've already done it. Level 1 background dot binary. I'll just cancel that because I don't want to do it. What was it? Stop. And oops. So yeah, I did the same thing for player and duck and so forth. Um, but yeah, I haven't got code in my game to load up these individual things as yet, so that's on my to-do. Um, and yeah, it's all sort of tooling related stuff now. It'd be nice if the grabber tool could sort of edit such frames. Right now I'm sort of ducking out into the basic editor and doing things. But maybe there's times like to put in depth characters. It might be nice if I make a copy of player.bin and just edit the heads of each frame. So yeah, I'd like to get in a position where I can do that. A bounding box editor, it'd be nice like if when I, let's say, run this and I load player.bin. So here I've got all the player frames in player.bin. It'd be nice within player.bin with I'd like to make those boxes. I've got this cursor function. I'd like to be able to sort of specify, here's the head, here's the body box, here's the legs box, and then, judge the bounding box collisions for those such things. So that's another layer of work to be done, how to add those into this editor, save them and load them up in the game and make use of them. Uh, and maybe also grouping the frames into animations, maybe that could be done within this tool too. That'd save me from hard coding it like what I had before. If you look at the source code of the game again, if I go to what was it, foot.l, we go down a bit. All the images are here. All the animations are here. This animation consists of these frames. Maybe instead of having it hard coded in here, maybe if it could be just read as data from a file instead and populate some kind of array that way, maybe that would be more elegant, I don't know, and not consume as much space in the code. So that's on my thought list too. But each tooling is really, I mean, when I was young, I enjoyed writing tooling, but I think I had all the time in the world back then. But when you're older, you don't have as much time, and then you really fret tooling because it really sucks your energy and pulls your mind away from what you were trying to make. So yeah, I'm kind of dreading this. But also, okay, the playmaker, I can just in the back of my head, this is melody.el in the back. Oh, I can't do this while running fast clock. I'd have to turn that off. I'll run Zemu again, but without the fast clock. Get rid of fast clock. Mount. Um, so I'll press F1 and Playmaker, for some reason I call it melody.el, melody.el. So um, this was something I made use of when writing the Hungry Dinosaurs game to try and spit out lots of melodies quickly for that game. This time around I want to reuse it, but maybe try and add a bit more, I say, nuance to it, if you like. Some effort, like before it was, put some and press return key or enter key, and press oh, why did I do? Oh, because it's a so that was an enter key. But if I do shift and return, it'll play both of them. So I added F7 to have this sort of like envelope editor we have the default existing ones from the basic, and then you can play using ASD. You have a bit of a real time with your keyboard, hearing out these notes, that I can go down and play ASDF or ASDF. I'm using the cursor keys to do this stuff, but then I can use plus and minus to sort of change things. So if I change the attack a little bit, yeah, I'm sure, there's other tools out there that do such things, but yeah, I just wanted this at my convenience within Basic, and so hopefully the next bits of songs I write with this tool can have a shape their instruments a bit better. So yeah, getting ready for stuff like that. And maybe the last thing on the radar was the game name. I was initially thinking of calling it, well, Way of the Imploding Foot, um, and maybe abbreviating it to MegaFoot. But Deft and a few other of the German contingent said foot might be come across as a naughty word in German. So yeah, some alternatives are being thought of, MegaFoo or what if, abbreviating that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, something I thought maybe how about exploding fish maybe. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, that's another thing on the cards. As for I don't know if I've got an appetite to do any dev work tonight. Just sharing where it's at right now. Um, yeah, maybe we'll just leave it at that. And when I've got the energy, I'll start digging into this. I don't know if I'll share it because I think sharing tooling is going to take a long time and it won't be very exciting to look at. Okay, I'll just leave it there for tonight.